Even though Huawei has been going through some issues of late, its flagship device, the Huawei P30 Pro, remains one of the best camera phones in the market. It's probably the only smartphone that's come so close to dethroning the Google Pixel, and for good reason. Hey guys, this is Abhijit from Guiding Tech, and in this video, we'll be taking a look at some cool Huawei P30 Pro camera tips and tricks that you should know if you want to make the most out of this phone. So let's get right to it. AI is often lauded as the next big thing, and as such it has made its way into a number of verticals. Your smartphone's camera is one of them. But if you want to click great photos with it, I'd recommend you to actually turn off the AI feature. Why, you ask? Well, even though the AI feature can help you take some quality shots, it doesn't work quite well more often than not. In my testing, I realized that I was able to click better pictures with the feature turned off. But there is no need to take my word for it, you can try it out for yourself. Turn off the AI feature, just tap on the AI icon in the top toolbar and you're set. You'll instantly notice a change in the saturation levels. With the feature turned off, you'll be able to click more natural photos without much post-processing. And if you don't like the change, you can turn it back on by just tapping on the icon again. Simple, right? You know what else is simple with the P30 Pro? Capturing amazing shots with a cool shallow depth of field effect. And you don't even have to worry about fiddling with a bunch of settings to achieve that. The camera app has a dedicated aperture mode to help you with that. Just switch over to the mode, adjust the aperture value by clicking on the icon in the corner and click away. The mode works best with objects that are within 2 meters, and unlike the portrait mode, it also adds a natural looking blur in the foreground of the photos. Cool, right? Now, since we are on the topic, let's take a look at a cool feature in the phone's portrait mode. Much like other phones, the portrait mode in the P30 Pro is capable of capturing some stunning portrait shots with an amazing background blur. But did you know that you can change the style of this bokeh or the background blur? To do so, just tap on this icon within the portrait mode and select one of the several options. Now, some of these effects are a bit gimmicky, no doubt, but some, like the swirl and the folding blinds effects, can actually help make your photos stand out by giving them a really trippy backdrop. Now, enough with the bokehs and the background blurs, let's talk about keeping things in focus. While it's easy to keep faraway objects in focus with pretty much most phones, a lot of phones struggle to focus on objects when you get real close. Not the P30 Pro though. It has a dedicated super macro mode which you can use to take some amazing macro shots. You can access mode by selecting more in the mode selection bar and tapping on super macro in the following screen. Alternatively, you can automatically turn the mode on by using the AI feature. Just take your phone up close to an object and you will see a super macro prompt pop up. Pretty neat, right? Speaking of getting up close, the P30 Pro features an innovative periscope zoom lens which offers 5x optical zoom, 10x hybrid zoom, and all the way up to 50x digital zoom. Right. And as you'd already know, using the zoom feature means that you will be sacrificing on the details in the images that you capture. And since the zoom lens is just an 8 megapixel unit, you won't get crazy detailed photos to begin with. So if you want to have close-up shots with good detail, you should make use of the 40 megapixel primary sensor, capture an image, and then zoom into the image to crop out the subject. By doing it this way, you will be able to achieve a decent zoom without sacrificing on the quality. Now let's talk about the phone's Pro mode capabilities. The number of features Huawei has packed into the Pro mode here is no joke. You can adjust pretty much everything from the white balance to the shutter speed and more. The most out of the Pro mode, you'll need to turn on a couple of settings that are off by default. To do so, head over to the Pro mode and tap on the settings cog in the top toolbar. Now turn on the autofocus auxiliary light, assistive grid, and horizontal level settings. The auxiliary light setting will come in handy when the phone has a hard time focusing on an object. The assistive grid and horizontal level settings will help you frame your photo in a more aesthetically pleasing manner. And here's another quick tip. Whenever you are clicking photos, make sure your subject falls on either one of the vertical lines in the assistive grid and that the grid is aligned with any straight lines in the frame. Trust me, if you do this, your images will look fantastic. Now, talking about fantastic images, have you started following our Instagram account? Well, we post some amazing photos there that might help you pick up a couple of tips to improve your photography skills. Well, you can find us at Guiding Tech on Instagram, or you can just search for it there, or we have the link in the description below. Just click on it and follow us. Now let's wrap up the video with another pro mode tip. If you are planning on heavily editing the photos you click, I'd recommend that you switch to the RAW format. Images captured in RAW have more information, and because of that you get quite a bit of leeway while editing them on Snapseed or Photoshop. To turn on RAW image capture, switch to the Pro mode and tap on the settings cog. Then tap on resolution and turn on the RAW format option. So that sums it up for today's video. If you keep these tips in mind, I'm sure you'll be able to capture some amazing shots with the P30 Pro. Drop a like on the video if you learned something new, and subscribe to GT for more such useful tips and tricks. This is Abhijit signing off this time, and I'll see you in the next one.